So it is a distinct pleasure to be here today, and we are very proud at Leadiant Biosciences to partner with the scientists and the clinicians involved in the MANAC project for GNE myopathy. But most of all, we are proud to partner with the NDF. We have a strong history and years of collaboration with other patient groups in some ultra-rare diseases. And again, we hope to solidify our relationship with everyone here today and future patients in this disease space. Do I have okay. So there's our office. My office is right there. Can you see me waving in the corner? But we actually do have a lovely office. Now, 2 years ago actually, we rebranded the company because we really wanted to focus entirely on the rare disease space. And at this point, we have a number of compounds that all have orphan drug status, and we certainly have committed ourselves to this therapeutic area. We have a number of products in the pipeline. The MANAC project is one of them. But we have really applied ourselves and demonstrated some interesting initiatives, and we've shown rare dedication in all of our disease states. And this is something that we're very proud of. So we were actually in the rare disease space long before it was, something, that we called it before it was sexy. And it turns out that we had one of the first drugs that was approved and given orphan drug status, and that was back in the 80s. I want to show this picture because I'm there. There's me. So Lena Biosciences is a wholly owned subsidiary of an Italian company. We have a sister company in the UK, but we are in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And we are solely focused in the rare disease space. We have 8 commercial products currently in the US, and we do have an interesting pipeline with other rare disease products coming to market. We were founded originally in 1957, and as you can see, we had some milestones along the way. But in 2017, we changed our name to Leadiant Biosciences from Sigma Tau Pharmaceuticals. Now, this is a disease state that I want to spend a little bit of time on. One of our products is used to treat an ultra-rare disease called Adenosine Deaminase severe combined immunodeficiency. There are only 35 patients in the entire country that are diagnosed with this disease, but it's a devastating disorder. What happens is patients are born without this enzyme, and as a result, toxic metabolites build up in their bloodstream, and they end up killing their immune system, so their T cells, their B cells, and lymphocytes. So essentially, they have no immunity. Until we developed the enzyme to treat these patients would expire, they wouldn't last more than a couple of years. So most patients would unfortunately die before they were 2 years old. Now with therapy, the enzyme that we've made detoxifies the patient, and they can actually live fairly normal lives. The interesting thing about this disease is that it parallels very closely to what we're seeing with GNE myopathy. So we're in the process of working on a project, MANAC, which will be a drug therapy for the disease. But in a similar way, with ADA-SCID, patients are currently treated with an enzyme, but gene therapy has changed the entire prospect for these patients. So it turns out there is a gene therapy that has already been approved for this disease in Europe, and the FDA is now reviewing the gene therapy trial in the US. So the vision that Lally has for the treatment of this disease is spot on. So I think, these are the things that, medical technology has really changed, the world for some of these patients. So this is a disease that, again, I think gene therapy will cure these patients eventually. But there will always be a place for the enzyme therapy as a kind of a bridge to gene therapy, or for patients who, for a variety of different reasons, opt not to have a gene therapy procedure. So it's a wonderful thing to have 2 technologies that can support the patient populations. Again, our corporate strategy is to improve care and bring novel, effective, and transformative therapies to patients affected by rare diseases. So we do have a long history in this space, and we appreciate all of the things that clinicians, the support groups, and the patients actually go through to address these issues. And again, our criteria for success is looking at the unmet medical need, determining the medical value. We do the proof of concept, and that's actually been done already for us, with our collaboration with the NIH. We look at the safety profile, and again, that's been addressed. And then that's where the patient access part is where I get involved to really support the patient populations impacted by these diseases. And again, we have the clinical and regulatory expertise in rare diseases. We establish our pipeline is robust, so we're here for the long term. We establish close ties in the community and with the patient groups, as as Lally has already indicated, and we do have a long-standing relationship with the NIH that we really, really are very proud of. So our therapeutic areas. These are the areas. We have ADA SCID, which I've spoken about, carnitine deficiency, which is also a fairly rare disorder, cystinosis, which is also an ultra-rare disease. There are about 500 patients in the country affected by cystinosis. Of course, GNI myopathy. We have some work being done in Hodgkin lymphoma and fungal infections. And then I think Marianne's addressed this already. There are potentially around 40,000 patients in the world affected by GNI myopathy. So really, our vision is we want to demonstrate leadership in rare disease therapies through innovation and excellence. And I hope that as we move forward with our relationship, that will become more and more evident. Thank you.